thought I'd hop on for a light-hearted outdoor video about my deepest trauma, which is my intense phobia of being uncomfortable and those feelings of discomfort, whether it be mental, emotional, whatever you name it. If I find it uncomfortable, I'm afraid of it. And today I was at Barnes & Noble with a venti iced Americano from Starbucks, and those always give me heart-stopping anxiety, but I drink them anyway. And I was thinking, like, okay, I don't have too much money, so I can't buy everything, but anxiety from something was starting to rise inside me, so like my arm cart was starting to fill. And I knew I wasn't gonna get anything, but I like carrying stuff around and sitting in random corners and like reading books and stuff, so my arm pile was building. And I was looking at all the books, and I was especially attracted to today, like self-transformation books. And like looking at them and reading random chapters, and I was so envious of the knowledge that's out there. All of a sudden, I was all consumed with this feeling of, I want to know everything. I want to know what God is, where He is. I want to know everything there is about the occult, mysteries, mystery religions. I felt completely empty, and like the only thing that would fill me was this knowledge that was all around me at this bookstore. And in a way, that is kind of a cool and good feeling, you know? Like, oh my God, I'm inspired, I really want to go home, I really want to read. But there's also an aspect of it that's totally paralyzing. Like, the fear of it will make me not read at all, and the fear of never finding out the mysteries of the universe will make me think, oh my God, I'm wasting my time on each individual book. Why can't both of my eyes like read two books at the same time or something? And I thought maybe I would pull some cards for myself about my fear of discomfort. And when I'm feeling empty, all I want to do is shove new things into my life and into my hands, and that probably explains my outrageously enormous tarot collection. And I used to have an outrageously normal book collection, but I left it back home when I moved here to Michigan. I was like an exercise in Buddhism, so I was like, I'm gonna give up all these books. I'm just gonna let them go. I can always find new books. Books are literally everywhere. And that was so freeing too, when I left all those books behind, because a sense of anxiety dropped off. Like I was like, I don't own like a single book anymore. I think I kept 3 books. 2 books by Tara Brach and Carl Rogers on Becoming a Person. And just knowing that I just had those 3 books that I could flip through was so liberating. Like I felt so good knowing I only had 3 options when I first got here. Which is ironic because, you know, you guys know, it's just ironic. So I thought I would pull a card for myself just about my discomfort in general. And I'm using the Robin Wood Tarot, which is like a soul deck of mine. And I saw that Imogen was using it in her court card video that she uploaded today. So I was like, Robin Wood, I need it. I'll draw a card for like something deeper. Like what is beneath my intense fear of emptiness and anxiety and discomfort? Like what is beneath that? What's just a kind of a talking point? Okay. The Page of Wands. What a guy. I feel like this idea of new, fresh, got to be on the newest path. I've got to be on the newest trajectory. I've got to... Beginner's mindset is the only mindset I feel safe in for some reason. Feeling like I have a whole ocean of something in front of me to explore and learn about and be excited about is where I feel really safe and at home. And once I start to navigate out of those waters, like once I start to become intermediate at something, that's when I start to become actually afraid. Like, oh my God, all of a sudden I have all these expectations on myself about what I should know, I feel like I should know what I need to know, and all of a sudden now I'm starting to place these thoughts and expectations onto myself that might not be helpful. I also brought an oracle deck out here, The Universe Has Your Back by Gabby Bernstein, because I actually saw it at the Barnes & Noble, and I was like, I think I have that at home. So yeah. And I wanted to draw a card that represented what's a way that the universe, or what's a way that I feel like subconsciously maybe that the universe doesn't have my back. Like whenever I'm feeling really anxious and empty and like just like, you know, those feelings of discomfort that sometimes are, I sometimes remember that not everybody experiences like a generalized anxiety disorder. So for me, my constant state sometimes is a low-level anxiety. It's not crippling or anything, but there is this low-level state of anxiety and discomfort that has kind of been with me for a long time. And sometimes I'm free of it, but a lot of it is low-level. And when it starts to rise up and I become like petrified of that feeling of discomfort in my chest, what do I feel? In what way do I feel like the universe doesn't have my back? In what way do I feel unsafe? What do I forget to be true? Let's see. What do I forget to be true? Wendy. Attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. Oh. Attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. It's my spirit and my mind and my body all collectively calling for help and relief and, you know, save me from this never-ending nightmare. Let me look at it again. It's beautiful. And that judgment and fear part are true, because on top of me being afraid of that feeling of discomfort, there is that element of judgment. I'm bad for feeling this way. And in Buddhism, they call it the second arrow, right? So there's the hurt of the hurt of the situation, like, oh my God, there is discomfort here. I feel anxious and I'm afraid. And then the second arrow is, and I'm bad for feeling this way. I'm bad for having these feelings of discomfort. Why can't I just get over it? And then besides that equation, this concept of the second arrow has been probably the second most life-changing, really ingrained understanding that I have. Whenever I start to feel anxious or emotionally kind of weird, dropping that second arrow, dropping that and I'm bad for feeling this way has been, I feel like I've pushed so many blocks out of the way in terms of healing and becoming more and trying to achieve the transcendence that it is I guess I'm trying to achieve on this path, right? I'm after wisdom. I'm on the chase. I'm on the run. I want wisdom. I want compassion. I want love. I want to feel safe. I want to feel secure. I want others to see me that way. Would be the ego half of that. So maybe like one of my life things will be, how can I achieve this without that gaze I feel is upon me of society? I want to be smart, but I want to be smart in society's eyes. I want wisdom, and I feel like I have wisdom, but it's not a wisdom I can translate into a societal explanation or a consensus reality. Then I also brought a third oracle deck, Gateway Oracle cards, which some people call a hug deck, and I fully agree. This deck is like a big hug from the universe. What is my gateway to feeling safe? What is my gateway to feeling secure? What is my gateway to love and compassion? What is my gateway to sitting with those feelings of discomfort, and instead of shoving it down with stuff, what's my portal for opening it up and letting it out and examining it and just confronting those feelings instead of, pushing them down with stuff. What is my gateway? Embarking on an adventure. I savor the wonders of the world. Oh my gosh, that Americano's got me shaky along with this wind. Love that for me. I love adventure. I love getting in my car and driving to a part of the lake I've never been to. I love driving to a new little downtown area I've never been to. I love adventure. And that feeling of embarkment, right? Like, I'm going on an adventure. Makes me feel so safe for some reason. Ironically, it is me going into the unknown that makes me feel the most safe and the most secure and the most connected. But also in this aspect of I savor the wonders of the world. The things that I buy and consume to fill that void that sometimes arises, I'm not actually savoring them. I am like abusing them, or I'm not getting the fullest potential of those things when I buy them, and I get that immediate dopamine fix, right? This is my new shiny item, and I salivate over it for a minute, but then I toss it aside when it doesn't give me that rush anymore. And there's no way that is savoring. And I've seen some people be on a depth here this year. I didn't even consider doing it for myself because I'm not in a headspace yet to even trust myself to tackle something like a depth year. But this idea of savoring, like maybe the next time I'm feeling that sense of anxiousness arise, like that intense fear of discomfort, instead of shoving it down, what if I grab something I already had, and with the intention of, why don't I really just admire something I've never noticed about this before, or go deeper with the things that I have and savor it. I'm sure there will still be that element of, yeah, this is like fun and all, but when are we going to the store, bitch, to get something new? I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about when I'm talking about that discomfort feeling, like something ain't right. And so you want to push it down, and I guess everybody has their different way. I have a ton of ways personally, going out and buying stuff, drinking, or turning on Hulu and just watching American Dad for like 2 hours while I stare at it and think I probably should be doing something else. Or there's a ton of stuff. And I just am at a point in my life, and especially living with someone like Sammy who's also so mindful and just is aware of herself and her surroundings and what's going on, and I feel like we reflect that well for each other. Like, we see each other a lot, like, because we're both very perceptive, so like I feel like we see each other and then it's reflected back into us, and so we're more conscious kind of the way that we're living and the things that we're doing, and that element of consciousness is really pushing me to, get it together in terms of, I have all this knowledge and all this wisdom, and I'm using it for nothing. I'm using it for what? To avoid all my pains and hurts and anxieties? Yeah, literally. So, are there any other cards I should pull for myself? I'm feeling shuffly. what's just like a closing message about pain and discomfort, running from that pain, and just what can I do today instead of running from that discomfort? Got the Nine of Swords. Great, of course. Of course, right? I gotta sit with it, guys. Damn it. God damn it. I really just need to be mindful with it. And I need to have an intense anxiety sesh. And instead of like reaching for the things that make me feel better, I need to just sit through a whole cycle of it. I need to just sit and like literally, I need to sweat it the fuck out. I need to let my heart hyperventilate. I need to feel like my eyes are gonna melt out. You know, I need to feel the full force of it. I don't recommend that for everyone if you're not in a good headspace for that. I know myself, and I know that I am personally in a place where I could handle it. So that's my today's homework, is to have an intense sweat out anxiety sesh. Love that for me. And then after that, you know, reward myself with like a hot cup of tea or something less destructive, you know? Thank you guys for sitting with me outside while I talked about this and talked it out and pulled some cards for myself. And I will see you guys next time.